name is Shani, and my story today is The Stranger's Gift. Now, a long, long time ago, in what was once the beautiful and powerful nation of Benin, there lived a poor, poor man. And this poor, poor man worked day in and day out, but could never seem to harvest enough to feed himself. So one day, as he was walking home from another long day's work with no rewards, he heard a sound by the side of the road. There seemed to be a moaning, a cry, but he got scared. He had heard stories of robbers and tricksters who would hurt people. But as he continued to walk, the cry got softer as he got closer. Help, help. The closer he got, the softer it got. Help, help. And then he realized that this person was beside the road, hurt and dying. So he forgot his fears and went over quickly to help them. Now this poor, poor man took this stranger to his house, and although he had almost nothing, he still gave him what he had. He covered his wounds and fed him and kept him warm by the fire, and for days he went along, nursing the stranger back to health. Now when the stranger got better, he thanked him sincerely and went along his way. And the poor man went back to his daily routine. Day in, day out, he would work and work, no rewards. Then one day, he saw a commotion on the horizon. There seemed to be, it seemed to be a caravan, and there were many tents and animals. It was his friend, the stranger. Now the stranger turned out to be a rich king, and he came back and he said, "For your help, I have gifts." And he gave him a bag of gold and another bag, which he told him, "Do not open this bag until the morning. If you should open this bag before the morning, and if you are to tell anyone of what is inside, you will lose the gift." Now the poor man was so surprised. He went to his hut, he put his bag of gold to the side until he could think about what to do with all of it in the morning, and the other bag he put there and went to sleep. Now when the morning came, he heard a strange voice. "Wake up, it is time to rise." Can you all do that with me? Wake up, it is time to rise. Now the poor man opened his eyes. He looked around his hut, but he saw no one. So he thought, maybe I could get a few more minutes of sleep, and he laid back down. But then again he heard, "Wake up, it is time to rise. Wake up, it is time to rise." And then suddenly he realized, he knew what his gift was. He could understand animals. That was rooster crowing and telling him it was time to get to his day's work. Now the poor man, with his bag of gold, invested it and bought land and estates, and he used his money wisely. He had a family, he had servants. He was no longer the poor man. He was now a rich man. Now this rich man was still kind, and as he went along with his servants who loved him dearly and his estates, he was walking one day, and he overheard his animals talking. It was oxen and donkey. And he could hear ox. He decided to listen outside of the barn. And he heard ox complaining sorely. "Those humans, they're so mean. They whip me mercilessly and push me to work all day. Don't they know I need a rest?" Now donkey simply ignored his friend. He said, "You're not wise, ox. If you were wise, you would do what I do." And ox said, "And what is that, donkey?" And donkey said, "You should pretend to be sick, and those humans will feel so sorry, they'll feed you and let you rest." Now ox thought this was a very good idea, and the rich man had heard their story, so he went back and thought about what he would do the next day. Now, when servants went to hook up the ox the next morning to go about their day's work, the ox put on the biggest show. He moaned, oh, and he rolled around in the grass, and he cried, and he refused to eat. And the servants, who had never seen anything like this, went to their master and said, "Sir, the ox is sick, what do we do?" And the master said, "Let the ox rest. Give him double the day's food, double the water, treat him kindly." And the servant said, "But how will we get the work done? Someone still needs to plow the fields." And the rich man said, "Hook the plow up to the donkey." Now, the donkey found himself in such a mess. He was so surprised when the servants came to hook him up to the plow. First, he struggled and struggled, but then they hit him and hooked him up and put him to plow the fields. Now the donkey was worked very hard, and when he came in that evening, he said, "Oh, ox, you must go back to work. This is too much for me. The humans are so mean, I'm tired." The ox had never seen in such luxury. He wasn't ready to go back to work. He said, "Oh no, donkey, that's no more for me. They fed me well today and treated me kindly. I think I'll stay here." Now the donkey was so mad, he thought about what he would do. And once again, the rich man was taking a walk through his estate and stopped by the barn door again to listen. Now the donkey thought and thought and thought and thought, and then he decided that he knew what he would do. So the next morning, the donkey went back to work. He worked hard, and when he came back in, he sat quietly and nibbled at his grass and said nothing to the ox. And ox wondered what was going on. Ox said, "Donkey, do you have nothing to say to me today?" Donkey simply shook his head. He said, "No, my friend, I'm simply happy to have a place here on the estate." Ox wondered what that meant. "Donkey, are you sure you have nothing to say to me today?" "Well, I don't think I should say anything, but I overheard the humans and oh no, it would only upset you. Simply rest and have fun while you can." "What does that mean, donkey? If you were my friend, you would tell me." "Well, it's just that I overheard the humans say, you have no more use here. So tomorrow they're sending you to the butcher first thing in the morning." Now the ox was so surprised and so angry. "Have they forgotten that I am the strongest and most hardworking animal here already? Oh, tomorrow I will do the work of 10 ox and show them." Now the rich man who listened outside the door went back to his estate. And he laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed at what he had heard. Now his wife wondered what was so funny. She said, "You must tell me, husband, what is going on?" He said, No, don't worry, wife. It is simply a joke." She said, "A good husband hides nothing from his wife." So the rich man prepared to tell his wife the story, knowing he would lose his gift. Be careful of the advice you take, and be careful of the advice you give.